Well, welcome to the Tuesday, June 20th, regular city council meeting. Would you all join me, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Mayor Pro Tem Justin Smock is doing our roll call tonight.
Osborne.
Yes, I'm here.
Smock, I am here. Nichols. Here. Bergman.
Here.
And Siebel.
Here again.
Excellent, thank you, Justin. Number 4, I'll take a motion to approve the June 20th, 2023 agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Number 5 on our list is public discussion. Does anyone in the audience would like to speak tonight? Okay, we'll be moving on. Number 6, approval of the consent agenda. I'll have a motion to approve that, please.
So moved. Mayor, I just had one thing on, that's for the minutes, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I just would like to have one thing changed. We talked about this last meeting. Under the mayor's compensation, I wanted to exempt 2025 salary because we didn't know what that would be. And so I would like that taken out of that ordinance, so it's not on record that that is the dollar amount then, because that may be wrong, maybe low, maybe high.
was it in the minutes
Yeah.
that way? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what we need to do right now is we will be moving item B off the consent agenda to vote on that separately. So I'll take a motion to approve the agenda without item B.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item B, approval of the June 6th regular meeting minutes. So you're stating there's something in there. Obviously, I didn't read them because I didn't even see them.
It's just on the first, well, there's 3 pages, but the first page when it talks about ordinance 689, I had asked last time that we exempt that second year amount out, and I did discuss about vacation also, and I do not see that in there either. So I'm asking that we go to the, what's agreed at the 55,193 for January
Yeah.
of '24, and to make the vacation be 2 weeks per year so that that ordinance is changed accordingly. That's just my,
That, and as I stated at that meeting, the vacation isn't included in that ordinance. The
It wasn't
vacation
one of
is your,
it wasn't one of them, one when we did that with under Foster.
it was changed to the handbook, I believe, in our update in
Can you,
2016.
not tonight, but can you show it to me at some point?
You have the handbook right there?
Yep, she printed it for us.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look
But
through
I
it.
will do it as amended. I will verify that information, and they will be approved as amended.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you.
I will take a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes as amended.
So move with those exceptions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8, approval of the resolution calendar.
So move.
Second.
That'll be a roll call. Mayor Pro Tem Smock?
Osborne.
Yes.
Smock, yes. Nichols. Yes. Bergman.
Yes.
Siebel.
Yes.
Number 9, council to consider Mid-American Gas and Electric franchise agreement. The franchise agreement was reviewed by the attorney we had hired to do so with amendments. That wasn't, it was a, what was the word? Conflict with Lynch Dallas. So we'd hired another service that was on our agenda to do so. She reviewed it, made some changes. Nothing was minor. She even stated in her email that, if they didn't accept any of the changes, it wasn't gonna be, a deal breaker. So Mid-American did accept most of the changes that were made. The ones that they didn't were in your packet. They were highlighted by Mid-America, and she was fine with those amendments. The only thing else to be considered on this, it is a 25-year agreement. And just so you know, one of the opportunities we have is to no longer incur loss with that at that 1% that we incur on all taxed items. We have the opportunity to charge a 2% franchise fee, clear up to 5%, which I've laid in front of you, just so you could see that. Right now, with our lost, which is the 1% local option sales tax, we are bringing in $48,189 per year. And Tyler with Mid-American, I broke it down for you. Some cities are segueing their 1% lost and, doing like a 2% or, a 3%, just to kind of bump up their revenue a little bit. But I didn't see that we would, be doing that at this time, but I would like the discussion.
You did tell me, Mayor, right, that this could be opened up later also if we wanted to make an adjustment and not
Absolutely.
do anything tonight.
Yes.
I
Yeah, if we
myself,
ever did want to do that moving forward, we could go back. We'd have to go through the process over again. But, of course, public hearing and, so the public could be made aware that we were going to be charging that additional tax on their utility bill.
well, my opinion is one vote, I would say to leave it alone as it's stated in the agreement than raising it at this time unless other overrules that, my motion.
I would agree. I'm not in favor of using this as a different or an additional tax-funded revenue source at this point. I feel our budget's been put in place. Any place where we can not raise taxes is always something that I think should be heavily considered, and this is one of those. So at this time, I would not be in favor either. Keep it as lost.
I would take a motion to consider the agreement as, and this is just a motion to move to the next step. Consider the agreement as amended. And the next item on our agenda, of course, will be setting the date of public hearing, so.
I'd make that motion to approve the thing as put forward tonight by Mid-American.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10, Resolution 6722, setting date of public hearing to renew 25-year franchise agreement with Mid-American Energy Company.
I'd make that motion if there's no objection to approve Resolution 6722 on the 25-year franchise agreement with Mid-American.
Second.
And that'll be a roll call. Mr. Smock?
Osborne.
Yes.
Smock, yes. Nichols.
Yes.
Bergman.
Yes.
Siebel.
Yes.
Number 11, this is requested on the agenda, council to consider sale of 2012 Chevrolet Tahoe. I had forgotten, but Chris had emailed me just today, because I just got the agenda out to them today. He would like to exchange the 2012 Tahoe and put that in service for animal control. And do you want to speak on that, please? For council to consider?
I believe, the one we have now is a 2013. It's two-wheel drive and it doesn't have AC. It's got 147,000 on it. So,
It would be a lot better vehicle for you to
The
make that,
four-wheel drive.
especially the four-wheel drive.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
gotten stuck a couple times with it in the winter events, like when there's fires and we're trying to get to the houses to get the animals or whatnot. So,
Okay.
I'm not sure what the 2012 has on it, but as far as what miles. I don't recall right off the top of my head. Maybe if I got it.
So what we'd like to consider, for council to consider, is instead of selling the 2012, that we put that in service for animal control, and that we dispose of the 2013 Tahoe, Chevrolet Tahoe.
What do we have for maintenance on the animal control vehicle? We just spent 400 on the 2012 Tahoe this last week. So what's the maintenance issues on that vehicle? I don't ever see anything come across.
I mean, the air conditioning, we had to, disconnect anything for the air in the back because it would just cost way too much to fix it. So we basically had no air in that.
Which would be pretty bad on a day like today for a furry animal.
We got windows, so.
Well, that's good.
Chief Dean, could you refresh my memory on any prolonged maintenance issues or just wear and tear on the 12 beyond a normal pursuit vehicle?
Nothing that sticks out
Okay.
in my mind.
And to convert it over, is there much work, Chris, Chief, between the two that, pull out the cage? Is there anything special we need to do really for it? Okay, I mean, just some labels, some stickers, it's gotta be pulled off, but. Okay.
Mayor, I'd like to think on it till the next meeting and kind of decide. It might have a better value the way it is right now as a ex-police car. And we have trouble getting money out of vehicles, so if we go to this one down here, we're going to get less money on a resale. So I'd like to have the council think about it for the next meeting and see what your thoughts are, the two of them versus I don't even know, do we even have I mean, they're so close in price. I mean, do we have a value at all on either one of them to know? Or, I mean, I can do some research, but I just thought I'd ask you.
No, but we can get the mileage information from you, and I don't think they're any different as far as being equipped. Just one there doesn't work and one it does, so. Oh, yeah, one has four-wheel drive. Right.
That's just my thought, council.
Yeah, we can do some research on that and table it. I'll take a motion to table it until the July 5th city council meeting to gather further information.
I'll make that motion to move it to July 5th for discussion and decision.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12, ordinance 692, amending provisions of park regulations, second reading.
Tom, do you have any update from the last time, the rock and the grass and everything is, I went down there and looked Sunday. Didn't look like I seen a lot in the grass areas.
This is on the ordinance changes, you've already approved the bid.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they came down last week and cleaned everything up, and then I went through yesterday morning and picked a few up. For the most part, they did a good job.
Okay, thank you. I'd make a motion approving the 692 provision change, park regulations, second reading.
Second.
Roll call, please. Mr.
Osborne.
Smock?
Oop, I'm sorry. Osborne?
Yes.
Smock, yes. Nichols?
Yes.
Bergman?
Yes.
Siebel?
Yes.
Excellent. Council had requested at the last meeting that you would receive a memo and information regarding the Two River Road and Ridge Street erosion repair. We put that in Chris and I worked on that, got some other quotes. You saw through there what, where B&B Builders used to do it for 2,500. Now they're up to, they used to do it for 2,500. Now they're up to 5,000 to do one. And when Chris ordered that intake for that project, the last time he'd ordered, as you saw that older invoice from, I think it was, what was it, April of 22 maybe? Invoice, and it was like just right over 1,000, and now they're up to 1,900, which, he called the company and asked, why they were overcharging him, and he's like, that's it, that's the way it is. So
we're-
anyway, you could see what happened. I really don't know why that stormwater system was removed to begin with, because you could see that the road was really eroding, and the sand and the silt and everything was going down onto the road, right there at the, intersection of the two roads, so.
I just want to make a comment about the memo. That was really nice in the pictures and even the old invoices versus the new ones. That really helps like explain the story. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. So thanks
Yeah.
for adding that.
Yeah, you betcha. Thank you. Any other comments regarding that? Okay. It's not anything to approve. I just wanted to know that.
No, it's good
And-
for clarity and.
Yeah,
showing
and we'll
what
be,
happened and-
and that happening, we'll be a lot more conscientious about, getting the price on things from the past, because it's amazing how things have increased in price. Number 14, council to consider security options for City Hall. Of course, I didn't give any of those to you. I am so sorry. Let me see, I have. Sorry about that. I did not get them copied, and what it ended up coming up to was, Counselor Smock had put some things together, and Blackhawk Alarm, not Hawkeye. Hawkeye Alarm had come out as well. Hawkeye Alarm was looking at 4, like, interior cameras, like around in the doorways. And Justin was looking at more of something of 3 cameras that would be outside each doorway, which would be the east entrance, the library entrance, and the council chamber entrance. And they were about the same price. We were looking about $2,000 was gonna be the investment. But obviously, I will forward that stuff to you. We obviously won't vote on it or anything like that, just so you can consider the 2 options.
Yep, so and I can give a little bit more information on that. I was trying to pull up the numbers. It was just over $2,000, so $2,000 and change was the full install system and 4 cameras from Hawkeye. It would not be the one that I would recommend going with as far as just off of that, because they didn't have positioning specifically. But, okay, it gives us a ballpark. 4 indoor cameras, the DVR system, their cabling install, $2,000. I want to say the parts I looked at, so this would not be the labor, but all the cable, all the piece, the cameras, the pieces and everything that I had was like just over 1,800. So you add in some labor, they're pretty close.
And we did get a quote from Blackhawk Electric, and I'm waiting on a quote on another electrical company. It was like $685
Okay.
to install the cables.
So just to kind of put it, let's even just widen it out, we're $2,000 to $3,000. In talking with the mayor, and as I was pulling the different pieces, the question I had really just for my fellow counselors is, I wanted to step it back one of what are we trying to accomplish? So the why in the whole thing was, is it simply for just some monitoring issues in the parking lots, just to kind of watch security of the building, especially when people are, when it's unoccupied? Or I know the other thing that was being discussed was simply safety for the employees. And what I would like to simply just comment on is, safety for the employees, cameras aren't gonna do anything. So cameras will watch as somebody enters the building, does their malicious act. And I know the concept was, well, it catches them and we know who they are. If you historically look back, and I'm definitely not the expert, Chief Dean probably has more insight on the training he gets. Those people that come into the buildings to commit acts of violence, acts of terror, know their fate is sealed. Their full intention is to not come out alive. So as far as knowing who it is, that's, in my mind, that's not a problem, because they're there and they've already hurt the ones that we were aiming to protect. So I know last council meeting, and I apologize, I wasn't here for that, but it was on there just to kind of give an alternative of, if it's a security piece that protecting the employees for employee safety, locking the doors and monitoring more access, ingress and egress out of the building is where I would recommend we look. And they had the different keyed panels or different things for $1,200. Now, an even cheaper option, these doors stay locked. They either issue keys to employees, or during the business day, only by fire code are the only ones that need to be open. Because you can push the crash bars to go out, and by fire code, that's what you need. You need to be able to get out, but lock. So just some things to consider as you do look at this. I'm not saying cameras are a bad option, just, we've had vandalism done in our city parks. If we put cameras everywhere, there's a chance that those are the people we might be able to catch. But I just wanted to step it back one to the why. What is our purpose here? And if it's to protect the building, vandalism, make sure, our employees are safe while walking through the parking lot, our citizens are safe while entering, absolutely. Cameras are definitely something we should consider. But if it was for employee safety inside, cameras aren't gonna do anything but unfortunately give us a very bad story of what potentially would have went down. So that's where controlling egress and ingress out of the building would be preferential, in my opinion.
My thoughts on it are, we should have it both inside and outside. I'm not for, I just think if we're gonna do it, we need to have them inside, have them outside, have it a one shop, stop, one deal, get it done, have them in. What you said is very good things, Justin, but I think we need a little bit of both of that in the building if we're gonna spend $1,000 or $10,000. I don't think you can put a dollar value on safety and monitoring. I got looking around in the last 2 weeks going into businesses, and I think we're one of the few that don't have anything, period. So,
Did we ask Hawkeye Alarm where they would recommend? I mean, they are the security experts,
Yeah.
not us. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's what I said to them when they came in. I just said, we're looking for, some security and it's gonna be at the doorways. So, and that's what they came back with an inside, which kind of surprised me. But I'm not a security expert, so, initially I thought that they would do them outside. Cause that's like kind of skimming the parking lot too, I guess.
Yep, biggest thing is, the outdoor cameras can not only watch, the CRC is an example. Yes, there's cameras in the hallways and some of the public areas, or semi-public areas where people are at. There's none in the meeting rooms, there's none in the officers' rooms, the interview rooms are special cameras, so that's a separate issue. But the parking lots, they're out. I mean, they're a visible camera hanging, you can see, and that's what it's for. It's to watch those exterior doors, but then it's to also watch in the parking lot, to see it from further away rather than just somebody in a breezeway.
Has, Black Hawk Electric been out yet? Or,
You mean Hawkeye Alarm?
no, the other one you said you were waiting for?
No,
For
yeah, they
Caitlin?
just sent me a quote. It was
Okay.
like $685.
And then-
I had all that stuff, but I just didn't get it copied off for you guys. I apologize for that.
well, then why don't we, wait to get some quotes and think? I mean, I think Justin's voiced where he's thinking, I've voiced what I'm thinking. We got 3 other people to voice what they're thinking. And then make a decision at the next meeting if it's in and out or one or none or whatever, but I think if we're gonna do it, it should be both avenues in the building and outside also. I mean, it's safety, it's security. I understand what you're saying, Justin, camera, no camera, if they come in to do something. I'm not for locking the doors and giving people keys, and I just don't think that's a way to run the city hall. I mean, I think we ought to just leave it open, transparency, anybody can come in anytime they want, and get the right system in our setup and move forward.
And as far as right system, Steve, just because I'll help the mayor through some of this. Right system being both security camera for monitoring and then also what they call access control, which is not keyed doors, but you can get it's either a keypad you can type in and then it opens, or each person can have it looks like a little credit card that you can scan and beep in to where it can come into certain doors. Now, during public business hours and stuff, the front door is always unlocked, not keyed, not buzzard, not any
And
of
the
that.
library is too.
Yep, the library
Because
side,
generally speaking, 99% of them come through the library doors.
the back door.
And I do think that we
Yeah.
need to be careful about what we're asking for with badging in and out, because then you need somebody to maintain that. And who's gonna maintain that?
Right.
And then we need a policy on that. And then if they lose a card, how much is it? Then you have to replace the card, It's just a
Right.
lot of maintaining it. So we
That-
need to consider that too.
Yep. No, valid points. That's the CRC's still push button pad, so it's a 4-digit code. So, but again, somebody's still to maintain it.
Yeah.
If somebody leaves, we gotta pull a code out
Yep.
and put a code back in.
That's just like if the key too, if you have somebody who quits, then you gotta change locks.
Potentially,
Yep.
yep.
So that's just all things that we need to consider. We really need to, what we need to do is just I feel like we need to get together on what everybody's thoughts are and get a quote on what we all want. You know, like what we think. I would prefer to ask the security experts, like Hawkeye Alarm, hey, this is what we're looking for, this is what we should get. Can you give us a quote for that? You know, like, you know, and then go from there if it's a keypad and, or, you know, a badge or whatever. But we need to be able to give some direction to these companies that you're calling to get bids on, because it's kind of worthless if you don't know exactly what. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, I don't know. I mean, like at my work, we have cameras in the entrances and then there's one in our hallway, you know, and we have a badge system, but it's all controlled by our headquarter office in Omaha, so.
Wow. You don't have any doors open to the public during the day?
Yeah, it's, programmed to open from 8 to 4:30 when we're
Okay.
open.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom?
I was gonna say, based on a lot of the stuff that happened this past week in our parks, I think our parks were spared, they all run for it. You might wanna look at starting to look at a big system overall, not just City Hall, but something that can be expanded into our parks. Obviously, the CRC already has cameras, but, even down at the street department, it would be a bad idea to have some down there coming in and out. You know, yard waste, yep, places like that. So, if you're gonna start looking at this, it might be cheaper to look at a bigger system now than trying to piecemeal it as you go.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the police department would probably have access to all of this, so that they can look at videos or monitor even at night when they're sitting and doing reports. So, I'm saying you might wanna look at a bigger picture on it to start out.
Yeah, he has you know, I think that Chief Dean, I'd heard that they actually did have some video and, you know, may be able to catch the people that did all the damage to Mayor's Park this week. We were thankful that they didn't hit our park since we just got it open this week, but reopened, I should say. Yeah, I will, maybe just call a couple companies and have them get a quote and look at the big
We got a
picture.
quote one time for Aiden's Park,
Yeah,
electronic engineering,
yeah, oh,
so that might be another source for you there also.
okay,
There's some big players, we use them for our clients all the time, same thing that they manage them from a central place. You know, it's a central cloud console, it's, you know, built in, you just add another, and it's access control cameras, it's the whole thing. As long as it's on that system and brought around. This was just, and again, this wasn't anything I was even gonna take action on tonight, it was more just the last time we did it, I think Troy, or, yes, was it Troy?
Troy,
Was in
yep,
office?
yep.
And it was well over $10,000, so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
if we're seriously considering that, I
I
don't
think it
think
was
it's
closer to
that
20, yeah.
much. But,
So we-
what,
yeah, we-
how big, you know,
Yeah.
what, is it the central core for things, or is it just a
What's our scope?
add-on as you go? Yep, once you invest in it, a subscription or whatever, so. But that, I just wanted to get some sort of ballpark, as I think Steve had asked, just when we were chit-chatting, and, you know, just what does it even look like? So I did up some quick numbers, and then we wanted to compare it again with somebody that would fully install it, just to give us a ballpark.
So Steve, you don't, like, I like the idea of locking the back door. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, it just, you don't know who's walking in. If they come in the front door, you can see them, but then you got those bathrooms where they can still essentially come through this way, but I think it would like lessen, and people can still get out.
Yeah,
Something to think
and,
about.
and you have, you know, people can come through the front door, just like everybody else, you know,
Shoot, that's all I ever did before I served on the council.
yeah,
I didn't know you could go in the back way.
just food for thought. Well, we will, you know, be considering this, I'll have it on the agenda, hopefully we can get some response. It may be something that, you know, we have a little bit, you know, if we had someone that we could, you know, actually ask that, you know, they were, experts in this area, that's not me, so,
Wasn't Hawkeye Alarm an expert on security and camera systems and everything?
Well, I think they do the monitoring for the wastewater plant and for CRC.
I think we should
That's
just get a
monitored. I
quote
don't know if
for,
you got 'em from there
what we
or-
want, A and B. We want inside, outside, we want just outside, get a couple options and see what the dollar value is. I'm for leaving the doors unlocked when the city hall's open. I just don't believe in locking things up. I'll not support that myself. That's just one vote.
Okay. Number 15, council consider advertising for vacant position.
Was there any action we needed to take on 14 officially?
Actually, it's just a consideration. If you want to vote that we gather more information, make a motion, gather more information, put it on the next agenda, we will.
I can make that motion,
Second.
just to
Okay.
continue things moving.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 15, council to consider advertising for vacant position.
Well, it's pretty obvious we need to advertise. I mean, that's not a long discussion.
Right.
We just gotta decide how are we gonna advertise versus what went on the last time or every time, or are we gonna do something new time? I know the field seemed to be pretty tight last time. We struggled for a long time to get a city clerk, and then we need to decide what are we looking at? Somebody that comes into experience, no experience, willing to train them. Can they be a city clerk with no training? They'd have to have classes, have that all done. There's a lot of unanswered questions we don't know till the right person would walk in and want to apply for a job. So I don't know, we can really make all those decisions tonight.
Well, no, and maybe Holly can speak to this. You know, one of the things that we discussed last time too is maybe starting them as a deputy. Because one of the things it says in the deputy job description, I'd be happy to forward that on to you, is at times they would be acting as city clerk so that they would be at council meetings. But if we did, because then you could get someone with, maybe some financial, customer service, that type of experience. Because really ultimately, especially in this day of age, I'm sure a lot of it's gonna be centered around salary.
So I think what we should do is review the job description that we have for it before we submit it. So maybe if you could email that out to us. And then at that point, we should come to an agreement at what qualifications that person should need and what we're okay with accepting. And then I think that we need to advertise in Iowa Workforce Development and Indeed like we did the last time as well. So
Yeah, and I would highly recommend that, we hardly got anything off Indeed last time, and it's a fortune. But,
how
I
much
mean,
was it?
we spent way over $1,000 on
Really?
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I look at all the time, so I don't know if we're getting out there for seeing people more or not, so.
Yeah, actually, the Iowa Workforce app, and then Mary Ann with Waterworks had found another one that seemed that a lot of people were utilizing right now.
Well, I'm okay with whatever, as long as
Yeah,
we get them
and
in
it
there as
was
soon as
like, it
possible.
offered you free, like for 2 weeks or something like that, and she got like a whole bunch of applications off of it, so that's a consideration too, especially if it's free
Yeah,
the first time,
well, I
so-
mean, it's not gonna hurt to put it in there too,
Yeah.
I mean, as more places the better, as long as we're not
Yeah.
spending a ton of money, but I think the most important thing right now is we need to get that job description looked at, we need to decide it
Yeah.
so we can get this moving.
Yeah. And just for clarification, do you want the job description just for the city clerk position or the deputy clerk position as well?
I'd like to see both.
I would too.
Okay.
Because if we advertise it as a deputy clerk with the potential to be the city clerk, depending on qualifications, I mean, we could, maybe someone will just come out of the blue and say, yeah, I've got these qualifications, and we don't have to worry about the deputy side of it. But if we open ourselves up to the deputy side of it, then we can, have one with less qualifications and start out. So I don't want to constrict ourselves to one slot or another, I guess. So I'd like to see them both.
Okay, perfect. And I do actually have a question for Holly regarding this. You know, if we did full force, everyone decided that we were gonna get a city clerk. You know, they are all appointing this position. You know, is it okay if all of them have the opportunity to interview? I mean, because we do have a personnel committee, which is, I know this is something that we went back and forth on last time.
Yeah, we could do that, there are ways that you could do that.
Okay,
We can chat about that.
okay.
And Mayor, did you wanna even touch on, because it'll have to go obviously with the job description and salary or hourly?
Well, I think it would be in the best interest of the city. For years, that position was hourly. So, because it gets a little sticky when you have a salaried person, but they're expected to utilize their sick time, their vacation time, their casual quarter, their casual sick time, when they're taking time off. And then what if they don't have that anymore? Do you reduce their salary? So there's a little gray area and,
There's ways you can do it under the FLSA. We'd probably wanna update your policies if that's what we were gonna do and make the position salary, just to make that clear.
Plus, we could probably add something into that job description, like, you know, if you wanna be, you know, so you start at hourly until, like, you reach certification of city clerk or something, I don't know. Sorry, I talk with my hands too much.
yeah.
You know,
No, I did too.
And it certainly wasn't looking for a decision tonight, but as we're
No,
considering
right.
this over the next 2 weeks, as we're looking at job descriptions, if
Right,
that
exactly.
had been brought up, for more reasons to be told here shortly, just some things to consider of just, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, yeah, I see how that plays differently now. So it was just something that got brought up to consider.
yeah, I don't see it's a problem. I mean, we can definitely look at it in the, you know, even tweaking the job description, have it in that. I don't see the problem as hourly. I mean, and if you wanna make it contingent on certification and after 5 years of service, you can go to whatever, I mean, that, you
Right,
can do that too. I don't know, I'm sure you can have a bunch of different options, but we can probably talk more about that in a few.
okay. So I will just take approval to council to consider. I will get, job descriptions sent out to you. Obviously, you know, I will get some other, also, email out to you some places to advertise this. And just approve us to move forward.
I'll motion that.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mayor council reports. It's been a busy week, been a busy last couple weeks. But we're moving forward on all of our projects, which is great. Bolton and Mink have been out, and you've probably seen them out and about, doing surveying, et cetera, looking at our systems. Chris and his team are gonna be televising for Lafayette Road. I'm just talking about mayor updates.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then, Chris and his team are gonna be, televising and cleaning those sewer lines, you know, just make sure we don't have any underlying areas, going along Lafayette Road. Dog park to date, one of the things I did, put that in your placemats. It shows the original budget, and it shows we are to date. And like you see, the city hasn't spent any of their, promised $10,000. There was several hours, but a lot of the hours that were worked down there were removing, hazardous trees. We had 154 hours total with our team. And these were trees that were suggested that be removed, by Planetary, Tree Service in town here. Handbook, I did give you a copy of the handbook. That's something that we'll be reviewing. Ultimately, I think that, you know, once we review it, I would, you know, like a double set of eyes on it, for maybe policies that maybe we don't have and should. So that's, you know, something that we'll need to consider going down the road. Purchasing policy, I just had some other considerations on that, not changing the policy any, but as far as the, discretionary spending, So that will be on the next agenda. July 15th, Michigan Lift Station, that was, they were gonna mobilize at that time. I haven't heard anything different, so I'm assuming that's gonna move forward. And then the trees, Mr. Norton had until the 14th of June to remove the dead, diseased, dangerous trees. And we're actually, due to power lines going through those trees, we're actually getting quotes for a company to remove them. We're just waiting on 2 quotes. We've reached out to 2 different tree services, so. Council?
Are we gonna charge the,
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
assess their,
Yeah, we have to pay for it up front, but it comes back to us through taxes.
yeah.
What are you doing about the guy in Lafayette Street that's filling the ditches in?
Steve went over there and met with them today.
There's garbage underneath that, and they push the dirt.
Well, I saw that when I drove by. I did see there, it looked like there was garbage sticking out.
See, city
He told them they
ordinance-
can't,
City
so,
ordinance always said before, if you were allowed to, they had to come to council, but you had to put culverts and everything under that for
Sure.
the drainage.
yeah,
And he's doing nothing.
right.
And even the lot on the other side, he's already filled
Yeah.
partially that in, so.
No, Steve was doing that this afternoon. They had a meeting at 3 o'clock this afternoon, so.
Okay.
So he knows it has to come out, or you don't know an update yet?
No, he knows it has to come out. Steve already told him so.
Okay, good, then we.
Yeah, that's code enforcement. I keep my hands off that as much as possible.
He's got some vehicles back there, I don't know if they're junk or
Oh,
what they're.
it's, I've been, you know, the guy came in and talked to me, it's been at least 2 weeks ago. And he, you know, because we sent him a letter. And, because it's a hot mess. And he came in and said the guy was gonna be moving out in a couple weeks. Well, that obviously hasn't happened.
Well, the guy with the junk vehicles back
Yeah.
there.
So,
I don't think it's happening either. It's junk here all the time.
but he, like, you know, he's meeting with him today, so I'm sure they're gonna discuss everything that's going on over there. Any other comments from council? Okay. I will take a motion, to, close the open session and go to closed session, please. Close the open session, excuse me, and go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
hi,
Opposed?
I think we gotta do that by roll call.
Oh, okay, let's do it by roll call.
Osborne?
yes.
Smock? Yes. Nichols?
Yes.
Bergman?
Yes.
Siebel?
Yes.
Have a good evening, guys.
Bye.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
I've got a question in this closed session. I've never been in a closed session where the audience has to leave and we have to go in a separate room. Here,
Yeah,
They have a
we've always
right
done it
to,
that way.
I mean, I'm not saying anything, but I think that's,
Well,
don't
we put it
usually-
at the very end of the meeting and there's nothing else left.
maybe they wanna hear what's going on, cause you gotta come back and reconvene the meeting.
Well, not in this case.
Yeah, we don't have any action items afterwards. It'll
We
just
don't
be a
have any
motion to
action
adjourn.
items. It's only if you have an action item afterwards.
No, well, I assume we was gonna have action.
Action's already been done.
It's already been done.
That's Friday.
We're,
Well, I don't know.
we're ahead of that.
I don't know what we're talking about through a closed meeting, so.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out here shortly.
It was requested to go into closed session. I called our city attorney, Holly, and asked her if we could go into closed session because normally under a personnel issue, you can't.
They
Unless,
have to request it, right?
yeah, they have to request it.
Yeah.
And,
I kind of wondered if she would be here because of that, because I thought, well,
no, I'm the
Yeah.
one, just to keep everyone up to
Yeah.
speed, I'm the one that actually requested it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's record.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I gotta shut this off.